5-foot rule. She does the outreach. She engages you, and then you stay her friend for a long time. We've been friends for 10 years, and she always sends information out to our small business about what's going on. She just when you think, where's Charlie? Boom, there you go. You got an email and you got information, and then she sends you a ticket or invites you to some activity. So she always finds a way to stay in touch. So what she said up there, she practices. I'm a survivor. I have a question about see here, Armando from USAID. USAID?
Mauricio.
Mauricio, I'm sorry, Mauricio.
No problem.
You Latinos always sound like me. Okay, now you said that the U.S. government is the world's largest buyer of goods and services. Has the American consumer been surpassed?
No, I said the world's single largest buyer. Maybe that was missing in the slide, but that's what I was referring to.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. That was easy.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rosemary Seguero. My company is called Seguero's International Group. My main focus is on coffee and tea, and I'm initially from Kenya. Looking at business, the way I've heard everybody speak, I didn't hear more about international, but from Susan, who has spoken more on international level. As you say, China is the topest. Africa, I can think even China and the whole world and America import from Africa. Africa has the greatest resources. That's why all the countries in Africa, though nobody talks about Africa. And I want to thank AT&T for being global, because without AT&T, it's the only cell phone that is in Africa. So if I have to go to Africa, I have to get AT&T to go and use it. So thank you so very much for your support. And what I wanted to ask was, you were talking about collaboration. My company is a small woman-owned company selling coffee and tea. So if I went to Starbucks, let's partner so that I can work with you. Starbucks will not listen to me. They'll say, what are you talking about? I'm a small person and he has money. Karibu, all those big corporations. So how do I get into business like a small, if I can't get and I don't have a track record of dealing with federal government or any other big companies that I can deal with? So I think just have a way of incorporating or collaborating with small companies to do with your business, to do with the USA business or federal government, than saying that partner with the big companies. I have tried as a company, but I've never got any. So it becomes very, very difficult for me to penetrate. But Susan, thank you so much for talking China. I think I should follow you to China. Thank you so much.
Can I just say that China has heavily invested in Africa because China knows where the resources are. We can talk. As Joan Rivers says, let's talk.
And if I could just add about Africa, USAID has a huge presence in Africa. Matter of fact, I think we're in. I think about 17, 18 countries. If I don't know if I have that number right, but we certainly, that's one of the key areas of international development. And I was just in South Africa and Egypt earlier this year to visit our missions, and we have a very broad presence there. So,
Okay, I have a couple of questions also. Susan, you're going to China. I'm going to China on the 13th. I want to know, with the Western Chamber of Commerce there on the, so I need to know, can you give me some recommendations on how to better embrace the culture and how to talk business also with them? Michael, I'd like to know, what do you see coming down the line for women, the policies that they're trying to make, the changes in the SBA where women also get that set aside also? And I'd like to know what USAID, how can I connect with them? I work with a missionary school there, and I'm trying to get more computers and set up a server there. I'm an IT company out of Virginia, and I've also a missionary. So I'd like to know how I can work with USAID. Those are my questions. Thank you very much.
Susan, you start.
Susan?
I see our honorable guest is here, so all right. Going into China is a very complicated process. It also could be very simple. I think if you're going on 13, you got to have to do a very quick study. First of all, get your business card printed, and hopefully you have a Chinese name translated for you with the Chinese addresses. Secondly, never write behind your. If somebody gives you a business card, never write on it. That's very impolite. Third, give them your business card with both hands, okay? And do bow. Bowing is good, but you don't know how have to bow like the way Japanese bow, all the way to the knees. You just nod a little bit, fine. Depending on who you be seeing, many of the Chinese have gone to the West to study. Years ago, they used to go to Russia, but most of them now have gone to North America to study. They're very, they know more than you think they do. Sometimes they know more about us than we do. Many times now still, no does not mean no. 10 no's may mean yes, tell me more, okay? Patience is very important. And unlike the American, come in and let's go date and go see my mother and let's get married. You don't do that. You need time. I cannot emphasize the need to be patient. The need to show respect. They still respect the elders. They still want you to treat them as though they're the only one in town. With that, I think you go a long way.
Women are able to enter the 8A program. So part of my answer to you is that certainly any ethnic woman or non-ethnic woman has the 8A eligibility possibility for entering the 8A program. And you're going to see most of the opportunities in terms of set-asides with 8A. I'm not cognizant of how generous or frequent the set-aside is for either small business per se or woman-owned business that is not 8A certified. But Mauricio, maybe you may know to what degree there's larger opportunity in the procurement process to 8A versus the other categories.
Sure, I can talk about that. First of all, we do both 8A and we do small business set-asides, so both categories. I mean, we like the 8A program for the various reasons that Michael alluded to. I think your question had to do with the women's set-aside, which is, I think we're going to have a speaker, Anna, from the SBA, and I think she's going to talk about that. I know there's a rule out that's out for comment right now on the actual women's set-aside, which is the law was passed 10 years ago, and now I think finally it's in the process of being implemented, so I'll punt on that one. And to your question...
She's made a business owner, too.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And to your question about doing business with USAID, I would say if you're a small IT firm, most of the work that we do in IT tends to go through some large multiple awards contracts that we have, which I know Christina, who I embarrassed earlier, is part of one of those. And the way to get in, again, is probably through teaming, through subcontracting with one of our large partners. And I would just recommend, rather than me trying to answer the question quickly, I would invite you to one of our vendor outreach sessions focused on IT. Just look on our website, or I'd be happy to give you some information on that, to give you some tips on how to get in.
Thank you, Mauricio, and thank you to the entire panel.